Hello, and welcome to another edition of Sporty's Flight Simulator how-to videos. Today we are going to focus on X-Plane 11 and how to edit our weight and balance, fuel, and our failures in a Cessna 172. All these features are things we need to consider and plan for in the real aircraft, so it's very helpful to cover how to do this in the simulator and make sure we sim as we fly, if you will. We'll begin on the home page, and we'll head on over to a new flight. And for simplicity today, we're going to keep it in the Cessna 172 world. So we'll go ahead and double click on there. And we can go ahead and quickly change our skin, if you will, just to mark our airplane to edit features on. So here on the weight and balance and fuel, you can see a graphical representation of the default setting. We can change US or metric settings. We can go ahead and alter where our center of gravity naturally rests in the airplane. Helpful if you want to do a rearward center of gravity takeoff. We can change our payload weight, so how much we're actually putting into the aircraft by moving our little slider. We can also go ahead and change our fuel availability by moving said slider, and we also have the option of going ahead and typing in those fuel weights, which are more accurate, I believe, to the planning phases. Once you've typed in that number, hit return, and it will sync up those weights with your left and right tank. And as you can see, all the numbers indicate with this layout how our aircraft's going to react. When it comes to failures, X-Plane gives you a lot of different options for your failures. As you can see, regarding the world, we have plenty of options. We can go ahead and choose runway lights and pick on when we want them to change, when we want them to fail, set an exact time when they'll fail, say 10 minutes after takeoff, or a mean time to keep us guessing on when they will fail. So a lot of different options, and this is just for some of the worldly features. We can get very granular here and get into the systems. Say the autopilot is going to fail at a certain time or a certain altitude, something to keep us on our feet. We can get into the controls. We can get into the de-icing systems. We can dive into, say, electrical systems, which I think is one of the most practical system failures, or most likely we'll run into in flying an aircraft. We have plenty of equipment failures we could have. Landing gear. Let's say you've got a flat tire as you come into land. That's not something that's far-fetched. So the point I'm trying to get across is we can see there are hundreds upon hundreds of different failures we have at our disposal. We could get into the G430 failing on us. Really, I think you'd be troubled to find or look for a certain failure and not be able to find it in X-Plane 11. There are other programs out there that may give you a handful of failures when it comes to an airplane and roughly what time. But X-Plane, I think, really takes a step towards the realism of a failure by giving you plenty of options, giving you wide margins of when those failures will go into effect, and in essence, keeping us on our toes so that we're not anticipating them, but rather naturally reacting and figuring out how we should react better to said failures. So I always think the failures tab of X-Plane is exquisite. It's great for helping you in your training and really helpful. Now, if we go down a rabbit hole and change too many, we have the Fix All Systems button down there, and then we're able to just jump into our flight with set failures and take off. So again, a lot more things we can cover before we go flying, but we just wanted to focus on weight and balance, fuel, and failures for this video. We'll continue to add videos to our playlist covering X-Plane and other simulators. We ask that you will reach out to us and let us know what kind of focuses or pieces of a simulator you'd like us to talk about in the future. We'll continue to add videos to our stream. And from all of us here at Sporties, we thank you for tuning in and have fun digitally flying.